Tune into Nice Radio every Saturday at 7:30 a.m. for A View from the Outside, hosted by Brereton Horne. A View from the Outside takes a look at key issues affecting St. Vincent and the Grenadines and gives a global perspective on how these issues are viewed. Host Brereton Horne will examine a variety of topics to enlighten, stimulate debate, and explore solutions. Hear the facts, hear the real-life stories, hear A View from the Outside. Join Brereton Horne at 7:30 a.m. every Saturday on Nice Radio for A View from the Outside.
On A View from the Outside this week being the 3rd of November 2018, we look at reality, R-E-A-L-I-T-Y, reality, with the view being that Vincentians need to pay attention to the reality which exists in the country and not be hoodwinked into seeing something else. Each and every one of us know the reality which exists throughout the length and breadth of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. There has been much talk via radio, social media, and elsewhere from those who are afraid to speak out about the situation as they exist in the country. There have also been secret whispers, inbox messages, and emails from those less willing to speak openly that there is a sustained effort by the powers that be to paint a picture of one's existence in St. Vincent and the Grenadines which does not remotely resemble the reality of things as they are. Many believe that the picture being painted by the members of the regime and their agents does not resemble the state of things as they exist, as they actually exist in the country. Just to go back a bit, the Oxford Dictionary defines reality as the state of things as they actually exist, as opposed to an idealistic or notional idea of them. And so, as we say, many believe that the picture being painted by members of the regime and the agents does not resemble the state of things as they actually exist in the country. It is clear that there has been much effort made to hoodwink and bamboozle a desperate population, to make them to make you think that your own existence is the best it can ever be. It is just as equally clear that everyone has to be on guard to repel the attempts to hoodwink and bamboozle. Over the life of the regime, 17 years and counting, the attempts to distort reality become more glaring and more intense, and those Vincentians who are not on guard can be caught out and fall prey to sweet talk and vain glory. Everyone remembers the boastful pledge of those in authority all those years ago that they will be tough on crime and the causes of crime. Contrary to that, however, everyone has witnessed the escalation in serious crimes over the years. The homicide or murder rate has hit record levels. Rape and domestic abuse against women and girls are out of control. Gun violence has skyrocketed. Guns have been used in break-ins of homes and businesses. They have been used on people in vehicles. And there are instances where innocent bystanders have been caught in crossfire or cross shootings, even in their own homes. Drug offenses have become rampant. Even drugs, which was evidence in a criminal trial and under the custody and control of the police, went missing without a trace. It remains incomprehensible that no one has been held accountable for those drugs. The rise in robberies and burglaries has caused many of us, to think of your personal or our personal safety, as well as the safety of your home, your family, and your business. Everyone has seen that instead of being tough on crime and the causes of crime, the regime is noted for having granted early release to prisoners, including rapists and drug dealers. Despite all of the evidence, which points to a rise in crime, which causes you to be concerned for your safety and security, there is much effort by the regime and its agents to try to convince you that crime is not a problem in the country and that there is no issue with safety and security. Well, you are the ones who know what your reality is. You know what your reality is on a daily basis. You are the ones who are concerned about your security, your safety and security. You are the ones who have installed burglar bars, CCTV cameras, and you're the ones who have gotten extra dogs to try to keep your property and family safe and secure. You are the ones who know what the reality is, and you are so concerned that if you're so concerned about that if you're home alone and you go to take a shower or a bath in the daytime, you ensure that your doors and windows are locked in order to guard against someone breaking in at that time. You are the ones who are aware that even a police station has been broken into. So therefore, don't allow yourself to be fooled, because you know that when they tell you that crime is not an issue in the country, that is not the reality which exists in your life. In fact, it cannot be the reality, because you're now being told about the intention to introduce sports against crime. And so, despite what they tell you, that announcement, if nothing else, is an indication to you that they are trying to acknowledge subtly that crime is of concern, even to them. The regime and its agents have boasted that St. Vincent and the Grenadines has the best health care in the OECS, if not the wider Caribbean. Well, you and your relatives are well aware that the reality is far from that. Your reality tells you that basic medicine and supplies are in extreme short supply in the main hospital, as well as clinics and other health centers around the country. Your reality tells you that you struggle and beg to try to afford the prescriptions at the drugstore. The late Oscar Allen, affectionately known as Brother A, knew the reality of the inadequate health care in the country. He wrote about it in a premonition-like letter just days before his death ensued. So you know that when they make the boast about the best health care, the reality is far from that. During the Independence Address at Victoria Park, you heard it being said by Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, the Prime Minister, that there is too much colonial influence in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. He said that there are too many colonial names in the country, and that there is a need to rid the country of the colonial names. While there might be some merit in that claim, it is necessary to point out the reality of the mindset of the one who has made that claim. It wasn't too long ago. In fact, it was on the 29th of April, 2011. The occasion was a royal wedding. It was the wedding of Prince William and Kate Middleton. They are now the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Some may say that you cannot get more colonial than that. In attendance at that wedding, that colonial wedding, was the same individual, Dr. Ralph Gonsalves, who now wants to outlaw colonial influence in the country. The reality is that others know about him and have commented about his attendance at that wedding. In an online publication, the writer E.A. Ballantyne wrote, and I quote, "Ralph Gonsalves, the avowed socialist and staunch anti-colonialist Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, is off to the latest royal wedding." The day after the wedding, another writer, Robert Hardman, from the UK newspaper, the Daily Mail, mocked, and I quote, "I spotted a chuffed-looking Ralph Gonsalves, Prime Minister of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, one of the Queen's 16 realms, the one which includes royal mystique. Could this be the same Comrade Ralph who staged a referendum on abolishing the monarchy just 18 months ago? It was just as well he lost the vote then, or he would not have had the call-up yesterday." So, Vincentians, we, on A View from the Outside, say, be mindful of those who speak and be mindful of what they say, because as you already know, the picture that they paint does not resemble the reality that you know. During that same independence speech, Dr. Gonsalves inferred that jobs are in abundance in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Again, Vincentians, you know what the reality pertaining to jobs in St. Vincent and the Grenadines is. You know that youth unemployment in the country is nearing 50%. You know that unemployment overall is not far off that figure either. You know that there are increasing numbers of households in the country with no one in work. Households where no one, not even a single person, is working. You know of the difficulties which your son or daughter has to find a job since leaving education. You know of the many college and university graduates who are unemployed or underemployed. So despite what they tell you about jobs in abundance, do not fall for the sweet talk. Always remember the reality. Always remember your reality. Yes, Vincentians, we, on A View from the Outside, urge you to remember that the struggles are yours on a daily basis. Remember what your reality is. Remember that you are the one who has to face reality on a daily basis. Remember that you are burdened with that reality on a daily basis. Make the effort to make yourself more aware of what is happening around you. Read more and do not just settle for what others say. Know your reality. The Calypsonian Rankin Bash, in her calypso entitled My Reality, said, the pressure that she feels daily, which is squeezing her and stifling her, is her reality. Vincentians, as we understand our reality, and as we guard against sweet talk and against being hoodwinked or bamboozled, let us heed the warning of the author and journalist Alex Haley, the author of the book and miniseries Roots. He told us Either you deal with what the reality is, or you can be sure the reality is going to deal with you. Until next week, Justin and all of the listeners, this is Brereton Horne with a view from the outside, wishing you a pleasant Saturday and asking you to send feedback to aviewfromtheoutside@hotmail.com. That's aviewfromtheoutside@hotmail.com. So have a pleasant Saturday.
Yes, thank
have
you.
a wonderful Sunday and have a productive week ahead with all being mindful of our reality.